So today we're going to address the block step, and the block step is our last contact on our takeoff position during our amortization, or kind of that accumulation of speed and power for takeoff. And that block step is really that last foot that comes through that serves two parts. Obviously, one is going to be to facilitate some additional power output, and two is going to be to serve primarily as a braking mechanism for the speed created through your approach. And the questions I get are like, how do I train my block step to be more deliberate, a little bit more full of intent? Because the way I describe the block foot is it needs to be placed down with intent. It's a deliberate movement, and it is not a result of the speed, but more so a result of the athlete facilitating that blocking mechanism. So there's no substitute to practicing jumping with body weight. There's just, the patterns are clean. You know, we make sure that we don't create any unnecessary movement patterns, but there are some drills that you can help to increase impulse, to increase force production, and also to help ingrain some of these patterns into the body, so that when you are put in the position where we push through that penultimate stride, we're here and we're trying to get to that nice stack takeoff position, get a nice hard block down to increase the rate of that movement. So one is going to be a body weight block jab, which is going to be, first, you're going to step through into your penultimate stride. So we're in this kind of loading phase here. So the heel will be in contact with the ground. The arms are back, your vertical shoulders over hips. And we're in this position. What we're gonna do is very aggressively bring that back leg into that block position, into our takeoff position. So if we're here, it's gonna be a big breath in, and then it's going to be punch through onto the ground. We can step back. We can set ourselves up. It's not super important that you have the exact shape of that penultimate stride created. Ideally, what we're trying to do is bring the hip from an extended position into that forceful flexion into the front. Here, big deep breath, drive, and punch that foot. We want to create a platform. It's going to be through the ball of the foot. That's going to be what we're trying to aim to the ground. I would suggest playing around with those body weight for a great deal of time, right? We can't overlook the benefit of patterning things in a body weight setting, getting too caught up into like everything has to be resistance based or what have you. That being said, when you're at a place or a point where you'd like to include some resistance, something that works really well is getting yourself a series of bands. I have an ankle brace here, or brace. I have an ankle strap here that will allow me to fasten this around my ankle. If you don't have that, you can honestly just loop the band over your ankle. What we're gonna do is strap this up, and I'm gonna do my best to get this done as quickly as possible on camera, because I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest. There we go. So we have some tension built. You're not gonna want a super heavy band, because what we don't wanna do is over-influence the cadence of this movement. We don't want to shortchange that movement. So we'll get ourselves into some tension on the band. We're going to bring ourselves into that extended, longer penultimate stride. Arms are going to be back, big breath in, and we're going to punch that foot forward or jab that block foot to our takeoff position. Big breath, punch. And you're really going to have to drive against this, okay? So it might not necessarily land in the right spot every time, but it's the stimulus that we're shooting for. Here, big breath, big drive. Good. Bring it back. Big breath, big drive. Good. And you're noticing that I'm deliberate on this movement, that I'm placing the foot down, that I'm not just flinging this foot out and hoping it hits the ground. I'm placing it to my takeoff position. My body's a little bit more aware of these pathways created, so that when I'm given the opportunity to jump without resistance, that my body understands that this is the position we're shooting for, this is our takeoff position, and I've created resiliency through this shape. I hope that helps. If you liked this, there's like a thumb below me. Click it, click thumbs up, share it with people, hit subscribe. All the things and platitudes that you do and say on YouTube, I say them to you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.